Hey YouTube, Matty's Daddy 12, Team JMT. Coming to you guys with another one of my understanding stuns. And in this one, I'm wanting to talk about the extra deck. And if you've been keeping up with me on Facebook, you've seen that I've been having a lot of issues with my extra deck. That's been like the biggest trouble that I've had preparing for nationals, has been the room in my extra deck and what I want to play. So what I'm wanting to do right now, that got me thinking about just stun players extra decks in general. I'm wanting to touch on that right now and just kind of talk about the extra deck and talk about what we can do. So first I want to talk about some of the standard monsters we play in our extra deck. I want to talk about some of the new stuff that's coming out or has came out that's going to help us. And then I also want to talk about something you can do to be creative, something that you can do that's just a bit off the wall that may be able to catch some of your opponents off guard. So first, let's talk about the standard. This was kind of the standard as far as extra decks were concerned. You had your Stardust Dragon, you had your Catasters, you had YuGiOh, maybe you had Chimeratech Fortress, and then with Utopia come out, with the Exceed monsters, you had, that was pretty well the standard. That was pretty well what everybody had in their extra deck. Now this would vary from time to time. Sometimes people would say, I play Gale, I can go into Armor Master, or I play Gadgets and Gale, so I can go into Karakuri Buri or Beret or however you want to pronounce it. So I mean that would vary from time to time, but that was pretty well your main structure as far as what everybody ran. Those were the staples, if you would. So now I want to talk about some of the new stuff that has came out here just recently. First I want to talk about Maestroke. Now I've said it before in my understanding stuns. Our win condition as a stun player is to first off control the pace of the game. You want to slow your opponent down to the speed that you want to play. This protects itself, so that helps you to do that. Also, another part of our win condition is winning battles. So being able to kill your opponent's monsters with your attacks allows you to use your resources to destroy other things. So this has a built-in Book of Moon. You can detach a material to flip a monster face down, and then your attack can destroy that monster, and you don't have to use any of your back row or any of your spells to do that. You can use your attack alone to destroy the monster. So that allows you to win battles. So that's something new that's came out that I think we all need to start trying out. Next, again, you need to win battles, and what better way to do that than to bring out a guy that can attack twice? You know what I'm saying? A great way to gain advantage through battles is being able to attack twice, and this guy gives you that option. Kachikochi Dragon, I've not really had a chance to play with him very much, but I'm really looking forward to the chance that I can bring him out and probably devastate an opponent. Now, this guy also just recently came out. Number 16, Shockmaster. A lot of people look at this and they're like, well, crap, it's 3 level 4s. I don't want to invest that much into it. But when you stop and really think about it, there's several rogue decks that are gaining a lot of popularity right now. Stuff like Final Countdown and Chain Burn are gaining a lot of popularity. Those little trolley decks are coming in, and they're getting their cheap wins. And you're even getting some of them that are top 32 and top 16ing some YCSs and stuff like that. This guy, you can bring him out and detach a material and declare monster effect, spells or traps, and none of them can be activated until you're into your opponent's next turn. So what you can do is you can use him. Say you're in a situation where you can side deck Royal Decree also. If you have Royal Decree and then declare spells with him, you've pretty well shut down whatever Chain Burn wants to do. I know it costs 3 in order to bring him out, but if you're able to shut down a deck like that entirely, where they're completely dependent on their Swift Scarecrows and their Battle Faders, I feel like you stand a really good chance at winning the game when you've done that. Now I want to talk about some of the stuff that you can do to be creative. This is some of the stuff that I'm wanting you guys to reach just a little bit outside the box and try to bring some of your personal tech into a game. Now, Tim Tempo, or as we like to call him around here, Tim Tebow. This guy, if you keep up with me on Facebook, this guy ate a ZenMains and ate a Utopia for me this past local tournament. You can remove one of his materials to detach a material from another Exceed monster on the field. He's great. I mean, he comes out, he takes a material off ZenMains, you pass turn, and then you use his effect again to detach during their turn. That's right, he's a quick effect, which means he's one of the few cards that still has priority. So you bring him out, you get to detach materials from ZenMains. ZenMains cannot activate his effect to destroy cards on your side of the field, and now he becomes 2,700 attack instead of the 17. In that situation, now your opponent has a 2,100 attack wall, or 2,100 defense wall, and you have a 2,700 attack monster. Seems good. Next, I've got a Chaos 39 Utopia Ray and Gaia Dragon the Thunder Charger. If you're main decking Mind Control in your stun deck, these are two cards you probably need to consider because you've probably got the room. I mean, you don't have a lot of room taken up in this extra deck as far as stun extra decks are concerned. So you've probably got the room to play both of these. Now, what these have in common, or what these use Mind Control for, is if I Mind Control my opponent's Utopia, I can overlay my Utopia Ray over that Utopia, which means 1, I get to keep that monster, and 2, I now have a 2,500 beater with the usable effect if I'm in that situation. But the biggest thing is I get to take their monster and make it my own. That's something else you get to do with Gaia Dragon the Thunder Charger. Now, he's a 2,600 beater with Trample, or Piercing if you would. And what you're able to do with this card, now a lot of the Insectors are playing Ladybug now, so they're making Tyrus and they're making Adrius quite a bit. Tyrus is one of those cards that it takes some resources to get past. Now I can Mind Control that Tyrus and overlay him over top of it, and I get to keep that monster again, and now I have a 2,600 beater that they have to deal with. Not to mention, if your opponent's playing Heretics, maybe they bring out a Tum, detach to special summon, and you're able to stop it you're able to stop their roll in some way, like Max C or Effect Veiler, maybe a Chain Disappearance or something. I don't know. Whatever you've used at the time to stop them, and they've been left with an Atum on the field, Mind Control their Atum, overlay your Gaia Dragon, making, again, taking their monster away from them, making it your own. Now, last but not least, what I just talked about it with Maestro. What we use to win games is battle. There are a lot of dinosaurs out there right now, mainly Hydrogenon and Jurak Gwaiba, that also depend on battle to get their effects. And then once you get the two dinosaurs on the field, you can overlay them to make Logia or Dolka. Now, let's face it, guys. Dino Rabbit is the best stun deck in the format right now if you have the money to spend on it. So, why would we not want to try to incorporate their boss monsters from the Dino Rabbit deck into your regular stun deck? The Gwaiba ideal is something that I've been dabbling in just a little bit. And these guys have been working out really great for me, and I would just like to give that idea to you guys and see if maybe you guys can take that idea and run with it, and maybe use some of your creativity into bringing in a new style of stun. Maybe we can take some of these ideas and start to utilize an extra deck more than what we have in the past. and be able to start changing the game a little bit for the stun players instead of just changing the game for the meta players. So I appreciate it, guys. Subscribe, comment down below, show us how much you love us.